the instrument, did they teach you anything about setting up an instrument?
Not really. Not really.
Okay, right.
No. In those days, you know, it was a, what we call a hide bag, cane drum reeds, you know, but no, not a lot of setup.
Yeah.
That came later on in talking to other people. Now, I do remember he was adamant that you had to use, you know, the waxed hemp,
Okay.
the black waxed hemp, you know, the thermal wax, you know,
Yes,
the
yes.
cobbler's resin
Uh-huh.
on your hemp on your bridles.
On
Couldn't
the
use
drones.
no elastic,
No
rubber
elastic
bands,
bands,
nothing.
No.
Only those bridles.
Mm-hmm.
And we
How about
of
tape
course-
and the chanter and that sort
I
of
don't remember tape on the chanter with him.
Yeah.
When we were playing Sinclair chanters,
Mm-hmm.
you know, of course we
Okay.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
You know, we thought, well, we thought he was God, which
Mhm.
is what he expected us to think.
Yeah.
And you know, at that time, anything else was heretical teaching. You know, even playing a throw to D. You know, D throw had to be the low G, D, and a strike.
Yeah.
Or this, you know, that's the way he taught it.
Mhm.
You know, never the heavy D throw with the sort of the grip throw.
Yeah.
And so when we, as a band, as kids, would go to other little contests in the area and hear people playing these grip throws, well, that's incorrect. That's not the way to play it, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what we were brought up thinking,
Okay.
which was okay.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you're taught from the start, trust your teacher.
Of
And
course.
what he taught us wasn't incorrect by any stretch of the
No.
imagination.
No.
But it was when I left Donald Shaw Ramsey, or he left us, and I went to John McFadyen that, whoa, hold on a second. There's
Okay.
there's another side to this story.
Uh-huh. So what was McFadyen's take then?
Well, McFadyen's take, you know, I think he played the light throw, but the person he taught with, Sandy Jones, played the heavy throw, taught the heavy throw. You know, you heard the heavy throw all the time. Rubber bands for bridles, you know, those orthodontics, you know,
Yeah.
little rubber bands, use those on bridles. Just things were different.
Yes.
Things were different.
So would it be true to say that maybe the heavy throw was coming through in the light music and the light throw in the paper?
Well, definitely. That's how that's the adaptation I made.
Yeah.
But Donald would have said no heavy throw in light music, and of course you'll hear that with certain bands. They won't play the heavy throw. You know, SFU's a band. They play the light throw.
Yeah.
But they get a nice, beautiful rhythm out of it. You know, it's
Yeah.
a unified
And
sound.
that way it's not interrupting the flow of the music.
Exactly.
And many bands have adopted that and
Mm-hmm.
indeed probably interrupted the proper playing of torleurs and GD&Es and everything sort of quick execution to maybe the expense of the proper execution if you like, if you're playing yourself.
I think so because it's well, up to a certain level. I think a certain standard. It's easier to keep this execution together if you keep it tight.
Uh-huh.
But you find yourself getting to a certain level of playing as a pipe band to where suddenly that execution's not projecting out.
Yeah.
And then you got
You've got to go
open-
back
well,
again,
If
huh?
you've only taught people how to play tightly, they're never going to open it up.
No.
You can't do it.
That's
So
right.
you've got to teach, and my approach has always been, you got to teach good open playing
Okay.
from the very beginning. Because
Right.
you can always close it up.
Yeah.
It's hard to open it up. And so for me, it's like when I've always told the kids, if you can't play something properly slowly, you
Okay.
can't play it properly quickly.
Correct.
And the rhythmic aspect of all the execution goes into that. I mean, when we sing, you know, when we're learning tunes, they'll sing the tunes, and we'll make them sing the execution, so they even get that rhythm
Great.
into their heads.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
That's good advice. I want to hark back again, I'm sorry, to John McFadyen, because John was quite an influence on a lot of people. Dr. John McCaskill, for instance,
Oh, yeah.
took a lot from John McFadyen, and as did many other people.
Sorry.
And we'll just cut that wee bit out.
That's off.
Right. It's happened all the time. All sorts of interruptions the other night. Anyway, John McFadyen, that was quite a nice time that happened actually, because I was wanting to just come into a fresh wee chapter. John McFadyen and Piobaireachd construction. Could you discuss that, how he taught you at Piobaireachd and what you understood were his influences, where did he get it from, and what was he trying to put across to you?
John was much like Donald Ramsey in the sense of do what I tell you to do. Just do what I tell you to do. And he taught us by conducting. He didn't sing tunes, but he conducted us. And in his, John was a little larger than life. At least he was to me as a 16-year-old, right? And in his conducting, he would demonstrate the drama of a tune, which I always thought was fabulous. The drama that you would hear come out in his playing. Now, having spent all this time with John, I didn't hear him play a whole lot of tunes. He'd play at the summer schools, but he wasn't competing anymore, so he wasn't playing as much.
Yes.
But he made a recording of Lament for the Harp Tree, I think Clan Chatton and Flame of Wrath. And he plays his Flame of Wrath differently than I'd ever heard it played before. Or, no, I'd never heard anyone else play it that way again, because that was the first time I'd ever heard it played.
Okay.
And you could hear that drama coming out in his playing.
Can you still remember?
Oh yeah, instead of, you got that first variation, the way it would be played today. Ha-dun, sha-dun, and-dee. Or let me sing the dun. Ha-dun, sha-dun, do-ba-dun, do-ba-dun, sha-dun, do-dee-dun, do-dun-do, ran-dun-do. That's the way you'd hear it today. This is the way he did. Shan-do, ran-dun-do, ran-dun-dun, shan-dun, dum, ban-do, ran-ee-dun. Run and do, run dun dun dun, and you can just see this really angry.
It's the drama. It's some story of that.
Oh yeah. This angry Donald Moore McCrimmon coming to set fire to this village.
Yeah.
And to me that was majestic. And I'll tell you, if I were going to play the tune today, I would do that.
Yeah.
And of course, he probably never played it that way on the boards. And unfortunately, with his premature death, the things he was starting to bring out of tunes and do went with him, died with him. And so you only got a glimmer of some of this kind of thing.
Well,
it was brilliant.
We're getting a glimmer here today, and that's precisely why we're carrying out these interviews, to carry these stories forward. And he would be conducting you, and how many tunes did you get from him roughly, do you think?
Oh, I probably got I'd say probably about 20 tunes from John.
Yeah.
My instruction, the only instruction I got was during these summer schools.
Okay.
So for 2 weeks or a month, I would get instruction, and then I'd be on my own for the rest of the year. And so I would try to learn one Piobaireachd a week, memorize at least, and be able to play on the bios. Mistake-free, at least one tune a week.
Yeah.
And then as I got a little older, I was trying to get 2 tunes a week.
Right.
But then, when I lived here with John, we didn't know time was running out.
Of course.
We had forever still, and
he was 43 when he died. Is that correct?
It might have been 53.
53.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
And so when I was here, we worked on some tunes, and he took me to London, and the tune I got from him, and I've always played the way he taught it, was the Bicker. Again, very powerful, bold, dramatic sort of tune, which he loved. Too Long in This Condition, another tune I got going. He could really bring
many ways of playing that tune.
Yeah, but he did, in the second line, the way he treated the Tarliths, bravan, do, bravan, dan, bravan, so, bravaran, bravi. So you bring out this real anger in the middle of that line with those tarlas, and then it would soften again.
Aye.
You know, it's just great
It's
stuff.
actually a difficult tune to bring the music out, and most people when they play it, it's quite boring in the middle part of the
Well,
tune.
you can make it very.
Yeah,
Yeah.
aye, but John had that facility of bringing music out
He did.
off the paper,
Yep. Yep.
and we're fortunate to have had him.